Hello and a good afternoon to everybody who will be eventually listening. Obviously, this is not a live stream, so it may not be afternoon when you hear this, or it may be. Well, anyway, I just felt like I need to make a commentary again. Well, you're really boring. Nobody wants to listen to you. If I sat down and I wrote something, a little speech, a little spiel, right? Or I had an outline and had notes, I would be more successful on my channel. I know I would be. I know I would be. But the last time I did that, I actually used video of myself and I was so wooden and I don't really think it's my thing. Yeah, radio might be my thing, but not that either. No. Just a person sharing their thoughts and their viewpoints. That's what I am today. I hope I'm not doing it too prematurely, as my dad used to say. He wanted to pronounce things the way the British pronounce them, prematurely. What is your schedule? He loved the British. His parents were immigrants who spoke a form of German. I don't know how disfigured that form was. Well, it wasn't the Kaiser's German, but it was a form of German. So they didn't speak English at home. Not much. So my dad grew up feeling insecure about his language skills. And since I usually did well in English and reading class, he really thought I was special. Because I actually did like to read. That was one of the things that I did. Hour after hour I could read. No, that's what lonely, isolated kids do in the country who aren't good at sports. They just read and they read and they read. That doesn't mean they can spell well. It doesn't mean they can write well. Could be an effort. My mother was good at everything. Have I said that before? She was a fast typist. She could spell well. She could grow her fingernails without any effort whatsoever. Woman was good at math. She had good social skills, too. I mean, she was a bit offbeat, that's true, but she did have good social skills. Everybody who knew her, I mean, she might have had a few people that didn't like her. I'm not saying that everybody loved her. Nobody loves everybody, right? But most people really admired and respected my mother for her attributes. Did you ever turn out to be so different from your parent that your parent kind of wish they could stuff you in a shoebox and concentrate on the other sibling, which I feel like it kind of happened to me. It's too bad I didn't have a chance to have a good conversation with my mother about these things. Do you realize, my goodness, the woman was sharp, mentally very sharp, physically, things contributed to her not being very strong physically. Habits from younger and not so young days, habits that caused deterioration or contributed to deterioration, let's just say that. And it was, I feel as if, this is my thought, when I first got married, if I were the way that I am now, my mother and I might have gotten along famously. And she was about, I don't know, 52 or something when I got married, I guess. I don't know. It's much too late. It's much too late. You think, oh yeah. I wish I'd been nicer to my mom when I was a teenager. I was a jerk and I was a brat. But I experienced a lot of rotten stuff. It's not her to blame personally or my dad. It's the culture of the 1970s and the 1980s, crap culture, crap American culture. Farm your children out to strangers. I feel like I was practically raised by strangers. I spent most of my time with strangers. I was a latchkey kid when I came home. It's not that she had to work. It's not like she was a single mother, but it was beneath her to be a housewife. Now, I understand. She was very intelligent. I really don't know what the solution might have been for her. So who am I to judge? I think she was a very good teacher, certainly competent, certainly. Nobody's perfect. But did she sure take a lot of sick days? Oh, and they were all paid, you know. She took every sick day on the calendar she could. So, she just wasn't well in many respects. Yeah, I have to feel sorry for that person. You can't liberate a person who doesn't exist anymore. All you can do is be thankful for your own liberation, which might be occurring slowly day by day, and do your best to help others to become liberated. What does that mean? What does that mean? Women's lib? No. Jesus. Jesus. I do have regrets. I could have been more kingdom focused. There were people in my life a few years ago I could have been a positive example, but folks, I'm not saying I resent things, because I don't, but I have put this all together because of the things that happened to me in my childhood and then in my young adulthood, and it all snowballs. If you're some sort of like a defective mechanism, or car that's got a recall, like every so often, like your car's got a recall notice, whatever, I don't care. Like there's several parts in me that they just and then they just throw me out there. All right, now you succeed, but I have this defective part and this defective part and this defective part. And then you don't succeed. Well, she was never that good anyway. Too bad. Let's hide her in the shoebox. No, you can't hide me in a shoebox. Come on. At least Imelda Marcos was proud of all of her shoes. Didn't she display them? I would think she would have, but then again, I never traveled to the Philippines. Remember, she was like the queen of shoes. I get it. I like shoes too. I mean, my goodness, you succeed a little bit academically, but the world changed so rapidly. In my parents' generation, if you got a bachelor's degree, you were set for life. But by the time I graduated, 40 years later from high school and then college, eventually, of course, anybody, it's like, you remember the Cracker Jack box, how you got like a little prize in a Cracker Jack box? That's basically what college degrees are right now. They cost a lot too, don't they? Ooh. Ooh, it's so corrupt. Ooh. Ooh. Is there any institution that hasn't been corrupted by filthy lucre? You know what filthy lucre is? Like that lust for money. Oh, money, money, money. Status, privilege. Do I sound like a hippie? Mm-hmm. Aspects of hippieism were okay. But most of those hippies, they became university professors, and they love money, status, opulence, big, fat hypocrites. They're trying to sell you socialism? How many people were impoverished? That poor Elian Gonzalez kid, you remember him? They sent him back to Cuba, that poor kid. Christ have mercy. I mean, there have been so many travesties in my lifetime. I never thought October 7th would ever happen. That's just, and then the response of people. I mean, I feel like, hello. But people are Looney Tunes. Yeah, the world is Looney Tunes. It really is. I think you should watch TCT, by the way. And I hope that I'll see my parents in heaven. I hope I'll see my brother in heaven. And I'm not mad at any of my relatives if they don't want to talk to me. Listen, if you don't get reconciled with Jesus Christ immediately, you might not be raptured. You might have to live through the tribulation. I'm telling you, as a friend, somebody that forgives you, and I am so sorry for the way that I've offended you and anybody I've ever met, anybody who's ever been my acquaintance, you better get right with God right now, or else you will have to endure the tribulation. It's going to be the worst time in human history, by far, by far, by far. Read the book of Revelation. I'm waiting to be raptured. It's not too late for you to repent. God bless you, and adios.